Hudson River Park. It's like 60 degrees. It's real nice. We're on the west side of New York City. It's Tuesday, March 21st, 2023. We're gonna take a walk. Did a walk a little earlier and finish work. So we're gonna see how this is gonna go. Hey Joe, you're back. I just got on. Just made a minute in. Yeah, that job wasn't too hectic. All right, so we're gonna start walking. If it starts acting up, let me know. We'll walk the park a little bit. And if it starts, how would you say? Buffering, let me know and I'll just get off this path. By the way, we're going downtown at the moment. And I got this job, Joe. Will I have to go? Well, I don't have to go yet. Probably got to go there Thursday. No matter what I tell this lady, she doesn't listen. I got probably 2 more clients like that. Man, don't feed the fish. She feeds the fish. Don't add water. She adds water. I can't win. It's unbelievable. Like I'm talking to a kid, man. I'm like, this is a grown-ass woman. Yeah, man. Some people just don't get it. The boss always complaining. Well, not always. He'll complain once in the blue about what's going on. He won't complain to me. He'll call the office. And I don't know. Just keep doing goofy things, man. Goofy. Can't stop her. Man, it's beautiful out. It's right. I think I overdressed, but you know how it is when you leave early. It can get real chilly. So that's why I still dress the same. The coat, the hat, sweatshirt, and whatnot. Yeah, I'm gonna get off this path.
So it's like, you know, a lot of equity investors have dried up.
Oh man.
It's the opposite, yeah.
Rush hour, so everybody's kind of like getting out. Kind of thinking of walking this bike path, but I'm not sure. I'm gonna walk the bike path for a while and hope I don't get hit. That's another thing. If nobody's looking on the phone, it hits me. Right where you see those like cobblestone, like bricks, that's what I'm gonna stay in this path. Cause I know the feeling when you get especially when you're riding a bicycle or pushing a skateboard. Once you get that momentum and you're going fast, you don't want to slow down. There's no wind over here. When I'm by the water, usually it gets kind of windy. Feels like it's definitely spring. It's a dog park here. Probably can't see it that well in this. No wonder I couldn't see it. It's a police car that's unmarked. It has no badges or anything, any colors. The police SUV, and it's all black. Usually they have them in just cars. I'm used to seeing SUVs. Guess they're trying to switch it up. It's Pier 40. Came over here once to take pictures of a friend that was doing a baseball game. I think they got 2 fields on this dock. About 2 fields. Look like it might be closed. No, there's people in there. I'm not gonna go over there though. Let me get away from here. But the way they did this highway now, it's all cement. It's not like before, where it used to be like tar and then they had the constantly patches and all that kind of stuff. You don't have to worry about potholes. As you can see, it's cement. It's like that all the way up. From the ferry, which you can see the World Trade Center in the back, and it's all concrete. And remember back in the 80s, even in the 90s, they used to do a lot of patchwork on the streets, and that's how you used to get all those potholes back then. And they used to just patch them up, patch them up. They used to have a team going around doing that stuff. They got rid of that. Now, well, it's been like this for the past, I don't know, almost 10 years now. They just break up the whole street and lay down a whole new street. So that's what they do. That's what like I said, I think it's been like that for at least the past 10 years. At least since I've been riding an electric skateboard. That's been since 2015 that I really noticed. So all of that small teams running around with a truck, they don't even do that anymore. They just break up the whole street and just redo everything, which is better. But when they break up the street, it'll stay like that for at least a week. Then they'll come with the team and they'll lay everything down at nighttime. So that's what they do now. Instead of just, like I said, instead of just hitting pothole after pothole. Some days is over. This is the new building. I forgot exactly what building was here. And they just knocked the whole thing down and just put this up. But it's not that tall. I can imagine what it's like on the inside. I wonder what they're gonna put here. You see them doing that. With all of its walls, that means they're gonna put a whole new building here. Just like they did the one across the street. Guys I used to ride with, we used to come over here all the time. And we'll come down this street here, and then, which is Washington Street. And this is the UPS facility. And we used to just ride around this. We'll do like at least 4 runs around it because it's like, I don't know, 2 blocks long, maybe 3. It's probably around 3 blocks long, this UPS facility. Because we know ain't nobody's around here. Like I said, this whole area used to be a lot of warehouses. And we'll just ride down this whole street and go as fast as we can. At that time, most of the skateboards and whatnot could only do like 22 miles per hour. Yeah, we used to do that all the time. Ride around the city. I can't keep up with those guys now. Forget it. I haven't rode with them for like 3 years. But everybody got unicycles, electric unicycles. Scooters. I was talking to one of the guys that I used to ride with last week. Those things is fast now. It's insane. He told me he even stopped riding with them. I was like, what? He said, yeah, man, I stopped riding with those guys because they ride too fast. Those things can hit up to 70. They have some of them that can hit up to 70 miles per hour. The unicycles. Like I said, the scooters and skateboards, like the electric skateboards, they hit 30 and up. And that's the ones that's manufactured. Usually when you wanted to go that fast, you had to build your own. And a lot of those guys was doing that. They mainly nerds, so they just build those things. But now you can go online and look for it, the ones you want. You can have it, you can get it out the box, hitting 30 plus miles per hour. And the range is much better now. They can do 30 miles on one charge. And some of them can go further, especially with the unicycles. Some of them you can get over 100 miles or up to 100 miles. I know when I was with them, they had some that was pretty big, and they can do not 100 miles per hour, but the range was 100 miles. But it all depends on how much you weigh. I mean, if you weigh a lot, the range is not going to be as good. Yeah, man, those things. I probably don't even know the crew now. They probably got a lot of new members. Like I said, I haven't been riding with them for a while. Like 3 years or more. And I'm not gonna sit up there and ride with a bunch of people. And like I was saying one time, at least the guys I was riding with at the time, it was like we'll start out with like 10, especially on the weekends. We'll meet up. You have like 50 people to over 100 people riding around the city. And we starting to look for electric sockets to plug up into. That's another headache. But now, since they have the unicycles with the range that it has, forget it. You just charge up at home and you're riding the whole day. Because if you can get at least 60 miles charged for a whole day, you can ride for 60 miles, forget it. Most of them are only gonna ride maybe 30 miles max, probably more now. Then they go home. But it's the speed that's addictive. You know, you can go 70 miles per hour. There's a chance you might try it. I don't want to ride with that kind of speed. At least not with a group. By myself, yeah, but not in a group. Especially with that many people. That's like a one-wheel motorcycle. You can go that fast. It's doing rush hour right now, so that's why you see so many cars out. It's like 5 minutes after 5, New York time. Something I almost got into, getting a motorcycle. My brother was gonna give me his. The thing was, I was like, if I get something like, he had a Hayabusa, he's getting another one. I'm like, to store it is $100. I'm like, what if I lose my job? I gotta still pay $100 a month for this thing.
So we had that issue, yeah.
So I just said, sell it, man. Oh, how you doing, Tony? can't get your last name, sorry. But Españana. I guess you're saying hi, that's my guess. If that's what it is, hello. Welcome to the channel if you're new. So we're gonna start walking towards HUDSON Street. That's what I'm walking towards now. I got a job over here. Place called Red Door. I'm gonna see if the fire department door is open. I'm across the street. This is why you don't want to drive in Manhattan. See all this traffic, especially during rush hour, mornings and after work, like 4 o'clock. This time to drive in Manhattan is mainly around 12-ish. Once you start hitting like 3:30, forget it. Then you're gonna have a crowd. Oh yeah, they got it open.
I'll still talk to you.
I don't think they do the Dalmatian dogs. When I was a kid, they did it. Like I said, we're talking the 70s. But now, I don't think they would do anything like that now. I think they have some type of competitions in here. Let's see, trophies. I believe it's baseball. All right. How you doing? All right. Nah, just something walking around New York. Do y'all? When I was a kid, they used to do the thing with the Dalmatian dogs. They don't do that anymore. All right. We're talking the 1970s.
Yeah.
So these some fire houses, I don't know if they really had it for themselves. They used to have a Dalmatian dog.
Some, yeah, I mean,
They still do that now or no?
some houses have dogs, not always Dalmatians. Dalmatian was like something from the books, like they made with books. So now, whatever fire houses do have dogs, they're usually not a Dalmatian. It's kind of just like the stories that you have read. Maybe back in the 70s, most fire houses we saw had them, but now it's...
it could be any dog.
Yeah, we have a pit bull. I'm not assigned here, but the place that I'm assigned, we have a pit bull.
And the cops used to have the German Shepherds when I was a kid.
Well, they typically do because they use them more for like function, actually going out, doing things. The dog for us is more just like a pet as opposed to they're like almost employees. The cop dogs.
The cop dogs, yeah. But they get the same. If you heard a cop, like a physical cop,
pretty close.
the
Yeah,
cop
yeah,
is
that's
the
what
dog
I'm
would get the
saying.
same
It's like an
thing.
employee, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
wondering if y'all did this. That's why I was saying
Yeah, like I
y'all
said,
wouldn't do that
those
then.
are for books.
For books. Okay. Y'all have a baseball league here? Cause I've seen trophies with a glove. And,
Yeah, I got those. No, you play within the house.
but y'all play other
Yeah,
houses?
within other houses. Yeah.
Okay. Man, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
You have a nice day.
Enjoy the rest of the day. Yeah.
When I was a kid, they used to visit a firehouse that was not too far from us on 5th Avenue. I was living in Harlem on 114th Street in Lenox. So Lenox Avenue, you go one block over, you're on 5th Avenue. And 5th Avenue separates the east from the west. Oh man, I would have asked him, but I done read your comment too late. But yeah, about the oxygen tanks. It probably is. He would have answered the question. I just didn't put him on camera because I could have asked him, but I didn't. Some people kind of get camera shy. But it's funny how, like he said, the cops, like I was saying, the cops still use German Shepherds. But when they have security, like at the Staten Island Ferry, they only use Labrador Retrievers. I'm not sure if everybody know what that is, but he said that firehouse had a pit bull. I don't know. Everybody do their thing. Firehouses get a lot of downtime. But in the 70s, they didn't get a lot of downtime because they was always putting out a fire. Even in the winter. The people that was staying outside, they would burn a fire in the garbage cans. And those are made of steel. And they just burn the garbage and stand around it. Get enough of those burning around, especially if the people leave it burning. They gotta put those out or the containers. That's another thing, those garbage containers. You know how you can have pranks in sometimes? That's what I mean by NYU. They own a lot of real estate in New York. That's only been open since last year. All around Washington Square Park, they own a lot of real estate in that area. Even some of the new buildings. We're on Houston Street right now. This divides NoHo, which is north of Houston Street, and Soho, which is south of Houston Street. So we're like in between. Man, look at that. Well, yesterday was the first day of spring, so we're in spring. Someone on the bicycle almost got hit. It's funny because yesterday was so chilly. Now it's nice and warm. I'm gonna try to enjoy this heat while it's here. So if anyone's new to this channel, put in the comments where you're from. You don't necessarily have to put your name, but hey, say I'm from Wisconsin. I'm from Brazil. Let me know where you're from. Well, that's a new building. Thanks again, Joe. I believe this might be owned by, yeah, this is owned by NYU, this whole glass building. For some reason I feel like I've been walking longer than an hour and it's only been 35 minutes. This is all NYU. This building took up a whole block. I forgot what used to be there. That's the downside of when they knock down these buildings. Sometimes you forget what used to be there. Now we're on Broadway in Houston. We was on West Houston, now we're going to East Houston. This is another street that's similar to Fifth Avenue in the sense that it makes a divide. Like Fifth Avenue separates the east from the west. That's what this does. Broadway separates east from the west of Houston Street. Well, rush hour started like a half hour ago. Really starts at 4 o'clock. It's like almost 5:30 now. It's 5:25. Yes, you're right, Bridge. They own a lot of real estate in New York, mainly Manhattan. They have campuses not just around Washington Square Park, but mainly like in the mid to lower part of Manhattan. Trying to figure, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna walk down Mulberry into, what is that? Little Italy. I don't want to just do one straight run. I'm trying to look to go a different route. For those who are familiar with this channel, especially when the weather is nice, I try to walk New York as much as I can. I'll try to take different routes. Try not to take the same routes. Try to give a different spin on it. So for anybody that's new to the channel, well, who's familiar with the channel, you won't see me taking the same route. you're new to this channel, you're gonna see this a lot quite often. I do a lot of 360 turns, quarter turns as I walk. I usually don't walk straight on and that's it. I try to give you a full view of New York City, at least the route that I'm walking, rather than just walking straight. So I do a lot of camera turns. Skateboarders are doing a filming. In fact, I'm gonna get off that path and walk. We're going east for a moment off Houston Street. How you doing, Ralph Rosa? Thanks for joining. A hat shop. Got some colorful hats. I think its hats start around 100 plus. It's kind of hard to see with the glare of the glass. So we'll just keep walking.
حتى في الحزب مش يقولوا كلمة يرد عليه.
Because I don't do it on purpose. Like, it sometimes you're so high.
That's another thing they're cracking down on. They're gonna start cracking down on. They just passed one of those little bills about electric vehicles with the batteries catching fire. And I was gonna buy a battery for my electric skateboard, so I'm kind of like up in the air with it. But they may start limiting, well, they did start limiting those things coming on the ferry boats, buses, the trains. They just haven't been enforcing it. So the companies that make those real cheap scooters, and they're not good with not making good batteries. When those things catch fire, a friend of mine, his caught fire one time. Man, he burnt his apartment down. What happened was, his friend, I don't know how he did it, but he got the whole unicycle wet, like drenched in the water. And he gonna tell my friend, yo, can I leave it at your house? Left it at his house, and the thing just ignited, like later on. I burnt the apartment down. But being that the apartments are, like the floors and the walls, they're made of concrete, the fire didn't spread. It just isolated in that building. Well, his one apartment. And I gotta get away from here because they playing music. So I'm gonna start walking away. That's like my kryptonite. Superman got a rock. And mine is music. Copywritten music. In the summertime, they do tournaments at these basketball courts. I usually come over here and watch it for a short minute, then I'll just take off. I used to put nets up over here. It's like heading towards Chinatown. And they got fiberglass backboards. But the two courts that's closest to the street, that's where they have the tournaments at. Yeah, because I need a new battery for my skateboard. I don't want to get a new battery. Those batteries are expensive. I think they're like $300 to $400, at least for the skateboard that I have. And they just started dishing them out. I sent an email to my house. Email to my phone. It was last week, saying the batteries are ready. You know, you can start buying them now and whatnot. I was kind of reluctant to do so. I wonder if they changed the pavement. Oh, they did. I think they took it away. I used to put nets up over here also. And these guys would not come outside because they didn't have any nets. I put the nets up, then that's when everybody started coming out to play. Same thing in my neighborhood. Nobody was coming out to play. And I just put up the nets. I went to the person at the office. See, this park was put together by Nike. But this ground, they redid it. Well, they moved it up. What they did, they had like a pavement. It was like rubber almost. So when you played on it, of course you didn't get scuffed up or whatever. But they lifted it up and they just painted this ground. Because it wasn't like this before. I was trying to get the guy in my neighborhood to put down the type of turf that they had here. But when you have those winters, it freezes it. And it breaks it up over time. You know, after a few, it's just like when they lay down the roads, it's the same thing. That's the problems they have with it. I just found out when you lay down a road and the winter time comes, that freezes it. What causes the potholes is when it's thawing out, when the spring is coming, and then the ground just starts breaking up. Especially when you have a lot of traffic, like cars and trucks riding on it. That's what causes the potholes. I mean, this is a park, so I don't know. But that's the same thing that happened with that. Over the years, just start breaking up. Yeah, these kids are different today. We didn't wait for nobody to put up nets. You don't wait for nobody to put up nets. You just bring the basketball out. That's what I did. The office is more like in Chinatown going towards the Manhattan Bridge. I'm going to be walking up on it anyway. And I had to talk to the lady there. Then she told me where I can get the ladder. That's when I was riding my electric skateboard all the time. Went and got the ladder from one of the parks. Had to see one of the guys. And he's riding the skateboard that I had. Anyway, that's what I did. Got the ladder and rode down and put up all the nets. And there's basketball courts further up with the direction I'm going. We're further down. We're going downtown right now. That green patch that's just for bicycles and skateboards and whatnot. They try to give, these are called bike lanes. They've been pushing bike lanes for the longest. A lot of people mainly messengers got hurt the most. But usually messengers don't really use the bike lanes that much anyway. The bike messengers was getting hit by cars, trucks, mainly trucks. Nobody could, I mean, you're like a mosquito compared to a truck and you're riding a bicycle. And they don't see you and you come flying around. That's how those guys get knocked out. That's a new building mixed with the old buildings. Now usually when you see an old building like that next to a new building, that means they didn't want to sell the building. So they had to just build in between the buildings that were sold. That's the condition we're in right now at where I'm working right now. The guy didn't want to sell the building. But now we're getting forced out. So we got to see what happens this year. See if they're going to give us money to relocate. So a new address, of course. The office where I'm at is in Hudson Yards. The whole area mainly used to be like warehouses and whatnot. But now they knocked down all of those warehouses, storage houses. They knocked all of them down. So now it's nothing. I've been to Hudson Yards. If you ever look at any of my old videos or anyone else's, there's all high-rise buildings now. Right now we're on Delancey Street. Matter of fact, I'm gonna walk over on Delancey. There's a fish store I go to around here. we don't have a particular plant or fish, I usually go to that one. It's called Pacific Aquarium. It's probably the last fish store in New York other than us. You don't have that many aquarium shops in New York anymore. Used to be quite a few of them. If I go in, I don't know if they're gonna have Wi-Fi. That's another thing. I'm gonna show you what it looks like. Pacific Aquarium.
And like women's fit.
I'm just gonna walk in. Let me know if it starts buffering. I'm gonna have to turn her out because they playing music. Usually when I come here, there's no music. Oh man. Tell you, that's my kryptonite. Oh man. I wanted to come over here to check out this paint shop. I don't know if they closed for good or what. That's a nice mural. What a lot of stores started doing when the pandemic hit, they'll take days off instead of working 7 days. Some of them will just have work a few days, maybe 4 days out of the week. I would mute, but then I don't know. I mean, it is music, but I don't want to just mute. How you doing, Big Mikey? Thanks for joining in. I mean, if it was a short walk inside, then I'll say mute, but I didn't want to mute. There's a younger group in there right now. So I wanted to walk in and give y'all a brief tour if they would let me. Somebody's playing music. I gotta change direction. So I'm gonna stop here for a minute and mute this out. Man, they need to break this whole sidewalk up and level it out. It's like walking on mountains. I'm basically in Chinatown right now. I don't know what you mean, Mike. You may have to rewrite that one, what you just wrote, Mike. I kind of don't understand what you're saying. Hope there's no music in here. This is where I used to put up nets also.
Let's go. Let's open this game up. Let's go, Chuck. Let's go.
Oh, okay. I got it now. I just read it. Okay, Mike. Man, you think it's summertime out here. I ain't played handball since I don't know when, since I was a teenager. I basically stopped doing stuff that has to do with the running because the basketball messed up my knees. They got music, so I'm not gonna stick around. I used to hang up nets over here also. all looks new to me.
I thought it was 0. Now my hands hurt.
This is where I had to come get permission to put the nets up at. Had to see a lady in here. And she gave me the permission, and she gave me the, told me to speak to a guy. I can't remember his name. I had to go see him about the ladder to put up the nets. But I don't get it. Kids hang on the nets. So, you know, I was putting up NBA basketball nets. And those nets are tough, but you keep hanging on it, it ain't gonna stay up. So you get maybe 2 months out of it, and that's it. So if anyone's new to this channel, this is a walking tour channel of New York City. And if you watch my short videos, you see the trains, the buses, the boats of New York City. So if you haven't already, like and subscribe to this channel. Like I said, I'll probably be doing this daily as the weather gets better. Right now we're heading towards Canal Street. They usually do exercises around this area. Maybe it's the time of the day. And I was only mainly around here during the summertime, either in the morning or the afternoon. I forgot what they call it. You see it mainly women doing it. It look like they're dancing, but they're not. The Manhattan Bridge. I got a friend who has a bicycle shop that way. He's a BMX rider. I'm not gonna head that way though. And they usually play music in this area also. Yeah, it's kind of quiet. But it usually is not soccer nets up when I usually get here. Matter of fact, I'm gonna go this way. That's Pace High School. I don't know if it's the same one as Pace University, but that's the name of it.
I know.
Sean doesn't care.
Firehouse. Whoa. Yeah, the same. I haven't seen Buggy Bob in a while. Maybe he's doing what I was doing. I was ducking the cold weather. Maybe as the weather gets better, maybe he'll pop up. 'Cause I wasn't walking when it was really cold. Well, to me, 30, 40 degrees. I'm not walking. That's pretty cold. I mean, the first thing that's gonna go on me is my hands anyway. Chinatown. It's not straight graffiti, but they've written it so you can understand it. even think by this weekend, it's supposed to be like 43 degrees on the weekend. So temperature gonna drop again. The next few days from here till I think Thursday, it's gonna be almost 60 degrees. Thank you. So Joe, did Boogie Bob change the name of his channel? I think I'm too close up on this mural. Yeah. Now this real tall building right here, it looks good from here, but when you're on the Staten Island ferry and you're coming to Manhattan, that building, since it's so tall compared to these buildings here, it looks so out of place. Doesn't look right at all. They should, I don't even know who let that happen. But it looks so out of place. There used to be a supermarket here, that building itself. I mean, before they put it up, it used to be a supermarket. They knocked that down and put this big monstrosity up. And look how much taller it is. And when you're looking from the Staten Island ferry, coming into Manhattan, matter of fact, we're like a mile away from the ferry. That building, it just looked totally out of place. This is where a lot of guys come to ride. As you can see, this is a skate park that was put up by, I believe, Nike. That park cost $2 million. They have tournaments here, like contests, and you win a prize and whatnot. They usually have that here, but mainly for skateboarders, not so much the bikes or scooters. But it's cool when they have it. I've been to a few of them. I came here for a month straight. After work every weekend, not every weekend, after work. And I would clean up the whole park. And I mean, this park was filthy. I couldn't believe how bad it was. It's not dirty now. But what happened was, they kept seeing me come like once a week. For like I said, for a month. And I was filling up the garbage cans. They have 4 garbage cans here. And I was filling them up with just trash. And then it slowly, you know, they was thanking me and all of that. And they just stopped polluting. These are the garbage cans they have now. But they had the regular wired ones. Yeah, man, it took a while for them for it to ring in their head to stop leaving your trash. Because they'll go to the corner store. Even the guy at the corner store knew who I was, because I was coming by to him so much to his store. Yeah, I would come after work, man. Get here like 4 o'clock, because we was getting off early. That's before the pandemic, of course. I would just clean up. It'll take me like 4 hours to clean that park. While the guys are still skating, it takes about 4 hours to clean that park, one person. I don't know, but it's sunk in their head to stop littering. So it doesn't get littered as bad as it used to. By the time I was finished, nobody would leave any garbage. So the staff in the morning, when they came by, they didn't have nothing to do. And I used to put up the banner from my job, which was Manhattan Aquariums. I used to put the banner up. Then I used to bring the dustpan and brush with me and just start cleaning. One guy even thought I was getting paid for it. I was like, nah, man, I ain't getting paid. He just couldn't believe somebody would do it for free. But if somebody takes the initiative to do something like that, people will, you know, they'll stop doing the nonsense. Well, at least it'll slow it down. That's what I did. I didn't stop it. I just slowed it down a lot compared to what it was. That was insane. And I even asked one of the girls that was cleaning the park. When I came by in the morning because they had a tournament there. I said, how often do y'all clean the park? She said, every day. I was like, it gets dirty like this every day? And this is the summertime. She said, yeah. Every day they was cleaning that park. And you can't blame it on kids. When I say kids, I'm talking like 13 years old and whatnot. It's mainly grown men. Because they're the ones who have the money to go to the store and buy all of that food. I'm talking 21-year-olds, 25-year-olds. They was the ones who had the money to do it. I've been buying a few skateboard parts, like wheels, trucks. If you know what trucks are, that connects to the wheels. Well, the wheels connect to the trucks. So I might give out a few skateboards to this park or another park. See who got the worst skateboard and give it to them. I bought some trucks and wheels last year. So I have enough. I think I got enough to give away 3 boards if I put it together. Three brand new skateboards. Yeah, we still in Chinatown. We kind of like walking out of it. I'm still going downtown, which is south. I'm walking towards the South Ferry. And that's a charter school. St. Joseph Church. Looks like it's abandoned. It's so bad looking. All of that graffiti you saw that you see on these buildings, all of that came about when the pandemic happened. So that's why you see it all. I'm gonna turn this microphone off for a minute. Trying to duck the music. This is the route I would usually take when I'm riding either from the ferry into further in Manhattan, as in going uptown, or if I'm coming from uptown, coming downtown. I would take this way home sometimes. This is Madison Hamilton houses. That's where we at right now. We're starting to venture into a Wall Street area. Thanks again, Joe. Funny how these buildings look the same, but they got different names. Now this area is, as you can see, is Alfred E. Smith. The houses that we just passed is Madison, Hamilton. It's the same way I live. I live in Park Hill, and then a block over is Fox Hills. And there's only like 2 buildings. Fox Hills. The other buildings is Park Hill. And it's like about, I don't know, 7 buildings for Park Hill, and there's only 2 buildings for Fox Hills. And they all look the same. How they split it up into different names, I have no idea. That's the same thing with this. I don't get it. All the buildings look the same. And they split it up to 2 different names. How you doing, all right? Getting close to a precinct. Sure, I gotta tell you this one. One of the guys I used to ride with, he was a paramedic. Man, we started talking. So you remember, because I think you're older than me. You remember when angel dust was a thing back in the 70s, like the mid 70s? And I don't smoke, so I don't know that much. As in smoking weed. Some of these guys are really into that kind of stuff. And they used to sprinkle angel dust on your product of weed, whatever weed that you bought. And then that thing will have you hallucinating or whatever. And can't catch it all. They kind of bent it up. Yeah, man. And these people will walk around in a daze, like they lost their mind, spaced out. So I brought up the thing with fentanyl, because that's new to me. Like I said, I don't smoke, so I don't know any of that stuff. Being that he's a paramedic, well, was, because he stopped. I'll tell you that in a minute. But anyway, he said those guys don't know what they, like how much to put on the product that they're selling, like that weed. So he was saying when they do put it on, when they put it on the weed, I said, what is it? Crystals or something? What is it? He said they would, I think, spray it on. But anyway, he said you have to work your way up into where your body can take it. How you doing, John Burke? But the thing is, he said when those guys buy that stuff and they don't even know, they don't tell the customer that fentanyl is on the weed that they bought from them. Oh, what I'm using right now is the iPhone 14. Yeah, that's what I'm using. The Plus. Well, the thing is, he said their body has to work up in order to take that kind of stuff, to get used to it and to increase it. And like I said, I had a friend that passed from it. That's what made me spawn on the idea, like, what is going on with this fentanyl stuff? He said if they catch whoever sells that kind of stuff, they're doing life in prison. I said, what? Yeah. So even if the guy, I don't know what you would call him, a supplier or whatever, if they get caught selling that stuff, and it's not something, I think it's odorless. I don't think you can smell it. But he said you will do life in prison if you're caught with it. I set the phone to 1080. So that's why it's coming around so clear. .1080 is full high def. That's the highest it can go. And I have it set to, I think, 24 frames per second or 30 frames per second. I can't get it any higher than that. After that, it's 4K. Yeah, Joe, so that was the thing with these guys and this fentanyl stuff. And the guy that was telling me all that, like I said, he's a paramedic. He stopped practicing being a paramedic because they wanted you to get the shots for the, COVID shots. So that's why he stopped doing that. So he mainly does like photography, things of that nature, like taking pictures. I'm not sure if it's just buildings, but it's like what I'm doing here. I'm just doing the video version of New York. We take pictures. Yeah, that's what he is. Well, was EMT. Yeah, so he was doing that, and he said when they started to say that you have to take the test, I mean, not the test, but the shots, he said that's when he just quit. Also, what he said was, and these guys are young. He said a lot of guys are just dying now. So I'm like, what? I threw it up in the air. I said, Mayor Adams said you can just come back for your jobs now. Because they got the test and all of that stuff down to, you know, where you can get tested before you start and whatnot. I don't know if these guys, the EMTs are dying on the job or they're dying at home or what. I don't know. That was another reason why he just stopped doing it. Check out the temperature, 61. Yeah, the nice days are ahead. And there's no wind. Have y'all seen any buffering at all? Let me know if you see any buffering going on. This is the South Street Seaport. I'm just gonna walk in there. I used to hang out here back in the 1980s a lot. But now they just redid the whole South Street Seaport. But the main building, they just knocked it down and started up completely new. You usually have street entertainers around this area. Like when the weather gets nice. Cool. Thanks, Big Mike. When these apps do upgrades, they don't actually let you know. They just put it in. That's why I was catching a lot of buffering last year. So maybe they got it together since I'm not experiencing anything. The store's closed. They got a gym here. This is new. It's tiny too. You gotta get away from that. They playing music. You know what that means? Kryptonite. Thanks again, Joe. Remember this, Joe? This is the new ones. That's the solar panel. Of course, I can't get the whole thing. It's the fire department, police. It's another area we used to race up and down when it was clear. Those electric vehicles riding fast. Yeah, it took them years to get this seaport completely redone. Like I said, they knocked them down and put up new buildings. Check this out.
He's like 15.
It's like they got some type of dog training going on. I'm just gonna zoom in and walk in. I've never seen this before. This is something new to me. I can't get it to zoom in anymore. Maybe it's free classes. Maybe not. That's funny.
Very silly. She just likes to play.
No. Some type of something going on. Usually when they let dogs loose like that, there's always a fence in. You know, a fence around the whole area, but I don't know. Maybe as long as the cops ain't got nothing to say, they'll do it. I didn't see any signs saying they can't. Hope there's no music playing. I hear music, but it's not loud enough get on that screen. Well, it's nice today, so I'll take the gamble of walking. It's when the temperature is low. I had to get some spammer off. That's why I stayed quiet and stood still, because I was deleting all the comments. I hope he doesn't come back. Like, all of this is totally new. Like I was telling y'all earlier, those who was with me, about the eyesore building from a distance, what it looks like, because it looked like it's floating on water from a distance. I'm gonna show you what it looks like now. This is what it looks like. It's right after the bridge. Just looks weird from a distance. Like when you're, like I said, when you're on the ferry and you see that big building and you can't see the other buildings. And you just see the bridge and you just see that building. That's why it looks so weird, out of place, because the building is huge. We're at the South Street Seaport. Thanks again, Joe. I feel like 1 or 2 that was negative. I said, let me get rid of this guy. He's just like putting up all this madness. This is the iPhone 14 Plus. So there's only 2 lenses on this phone. I think you get a bigger lens because they have 3 lenses on the other one, the Pro. So I guess you can get a close-up view, a closer view than I can get with this one. I didn't want to pay the extra money for something that I'm barely going to use anyway. As you can see across the water, that's Brooklyn.
The real conflict is like sometimes they'll like.
I was trying to zoom in to see if I can get a, you know, just get it closer.
My ex relationship with the mountains that I was creating every fucking week. She's like, yeah, I found this thing and that was
Oh, so I'm gonna leave this over and it's starting to buffer. How you doing, Karina Thompson?
I think that was too.
That's probably the oldest thing on the seaport is those 2 boats. Everything else, they changed everything.
It was so funny because he was like, or whatever, and I was like,
I don't even know if you can get on those boats. I think it's just more like a museum. 'Cause I never even tried to get on one, or even check to get on one. So if anyone's new to this channel, like and subscribe to this channel. I should be out more often, being that the weather's breaking. I'll do walking tours of New York City. And when I put up short form videos, YouTube, the boats, skyscrapers, like views from a skyscraper, you'll see that. And sometimes the streets, I'll do like 360s in the streets. Haven't been doing that for a while. But definitely like and subscribe to this channel. That dog fight. I used to have a parrot, and that parrot, man, he was funny. Now what he was a double yellow-headed Amazon. I mean, their body is about the size of a pigeon, and of course their head and feet is bigger. Man, that bird he was a tormentor, man. I used to bring him to the job. This is when I used to work at Petco. And we used to carry large birds. So I would lock up all the other birds. He would be on the outside. And what he used to do was, if he didn't see me looking, or if anybody wasn't in the room, because he had a bird. And man, that bird he used to pull on the other birds' tails. He used to tease them and all of that kind of stuff. And then as soon as somebody come in the room, he'll stop doing what he was doing. And then as soon as you leave, he'll go right back to doing what he was doing, teasing the other birds. And then if you let all the other birds out, they won't even come at him. But as soon as you see the opportunity to mess with them, he'll do it. Yeah, his name was Osiris. Yeah, so the animals, they like kids too, man. They do the same thing people do. Animals got personality.
I just think he should see this.
Hey, Roger. Take it easy. Yeah, it's 7 p.m. New York time. Yes, it is. You're right. So we're going to walk in between a few buildings, so we just might get some buffering going on. Aye. That's what I mean by those fireboxes. New ones. That's the solar panel for it. Starting to pop up more everywhere I go now, at least in the downtown area. I first saw those fireboxes by the West Side Drive in the West Village. That was the first one I saw. This is probably the third one I saw, third or fourth.
So.
My mom cannot do this. She guys get without boots.
I'm gonna eventually get something to snack on. When I finish doing this. This guy got 2 pizzerias. Joe, I don't know if you may not remember this one. Well, anyway, I'll tell you anyway. There's a spot in Staten Island in Stapleton on Bay Street. These 2 brothers, they own a pizzeria, and they used to run it together. Run the pizzeria together. I don't know what kind of dispute they had. But it was unlike anything I've ever seen. They had a dispute, and one left. He opened a pizzeria across the street. I was like, how can you do something like that? You think he would go somewhere else just to be in competition with his brother? That's what he did. He opened a pizzeria across the street from his brother. Talking about spiteful, man. That must have been hilarious. You know, to the regular customers. Because I didn't go there that much. Oh, man. Yeah, man. People do some strange things at times. I mean, if I'm not getting along with my brother, I'm not gonna open a pizzeria right across the street. That's insane. I don't know if you had time to read that sign I just showed. That was, we're in the financial district. Really, once you come off the Brooklyn Bridge, other than the courthouses, you're in the financial district after that. Everybody think, well, I'm not gonna say everybody, but most people think when you say the financial district, they just think Wall Street and that's it. But really, they just say the financial district and that's the whole Wall Street area. So anything that surrounds Wall Street and further, as in from, how would I say, from the Staten Island Ferry, that's the Brooklyn Bridge. Yeah, up until Brooklyn Bridge. That's the financial district. That's like the tip of Manhattan. Because once you get in, like I said, in the Brooklyn Bridge area, then you're gonna run into the courthouses. Well, I gotta show this building. Okay, you see that building in the middle, the real tall building? I did a video from a guy's house up over at that building. It was on the 86th floor facing Brooklyn. I said, man, can I take a picture from here? He said, sure. I was like, I felt like I was in heaven at that moment. Yeah, 86 floors. I had to work on the fish tank. That's why I was in there. Yeah, so I may walk towards, well, that's what the area I'm going to right now is, how would I say, the World Trade Center area. I've been walking for 2.5 hours. So far, this will be the longest walk of the year. I'm pretty sure I'll do more, 'cause I got the battery life now. Look what this guy did to his car. Put a wrap on it. And that's a Lexus. Looks like it's supposed to be some type of monster. I don't know, I wouldn't wrap no Lexus with that, but everybody got their own taste. This is another area I used to shop in a lot. This is Nassau Street. So when I used to get off work, because I used to work around here, this is where we used to come to shop.
I can serve you one, but then you gotta go.
That was back in the 1980s and 1990s. I was working around here. I worked for multiple companies around here too. But mainly, I was working for Merrill Lynch, which is a brokerage firm. And I used to work for smaller companies and some big as a side job. So when I got off working for Merrill Lynch, sometimes like in the summertime, they used to let us get off at 4 o'clock. And then Fridays, we used to dress down day. That's what they called it. All they think they want you to do is basically take your tie off. But I was like, man, I did the dress down day maybe twice, and that was it. I was like, what's the sense of calling it a dress down day? And you still gotta wear a suit with no tie. Basically, that's what it was. Let me walk in here if there's no music. And there's music. Oh man. I didn't want to walk through there and just turn the sound off. That's like one of the benefits of having a live video. A live stream is you hear everything and see everything. This is the Fulton Mall. That's why I wanted to walk in. Yeah. The original mall, they knocked that down and then they put that there. So that's not the original mall. Fulton Mall. Check this out, a Ferrari coming up. Now the funny thing about Ferrari is, in order for you to get a Ferrari, you just can't walk in and just buy it. It's like you gotta qualify for it, which is insane. I think it is. And you just can't buy any Ferrari that you want. You gotta get the low-end Ferraris in order to buy a high-end Ferrari. Whoever came up with that idea, I don't know. But that's how it runs with Ferrari. So if you want a top-tier Ferrari, you have to own, they didn't give an amount, but you have to own a few smaller Ferraris, like the less, you know, the lesser Ferraris. So maybe you have to own 3 to 5 of them before you can get a top tier Ferrari. I'm like, these guys are insane. But that's what they did. So here we go. That's the Oculus, that building that looked like whale bones. Yeah, but still, Joe, I mean, that don't make no sense to me. Even if you want to buy a used Ferrari, I mean, you're not going to buy it from, they're not going to have one on the showroom floor. But it's just the thought of you have to do all of that just to get a top tier Ferrari. That's what I don't get. It should be, if you got the cash, buy it. Not that you got to buy a few cars just to get one top tier car. That don't make no sense. But that's how they have it set up. I'm like, how these guys are staying in business like that? Well, it's a $1 billion company. I guess it is working for them. When it comes to these bike paths, I look both ways. They move just as fast as the cars. So it's easy to get hit. And with the bikes, you don't hear them coming until, by the time you hear them coming, they're right up on you. So you gotta be kind of careful if you're in a bike lane. We're gonna walk into the Oculus. In fact, that's the building I used to work in. See the building, the black building? That's the one I used to work in. And right in the middle of that building, there's a park. And that's Liberty Park. I might pass by it. I'm not gonna walk around the Oculus and start heading back out. You can check my channel. I believe I have 2 walks of the Oculus. One last year and I think one the year before. So you can definitely check that out. I did a full-on tour of the Oculus. Now, when I used to work in the World Trade Center, I used to work for this company called Prescott Bull and Turbine. Back in the 1980s, well, it was like 86 when I was working for them. And I used to work on the 56th floor. So they had elevator banks. They had like, I think 2 or 3, I can't remember. I don't even remember the one I mainly took. You would get in that elevator and it'll run from ground floor up until I think the 50th floor. Then you had to take another elevator to go to the rest of the floors. So it was like an express elevator. And then you'll take a local elevator to get to the floor that you wanted to get to. And man, those things, I don't know how fast they was going, but you can feel your ears about to pop. Like you can feel the pressure. That thing was insane. It just running, but it wasn't loud. Even though it was fast, it wasn't loud. You know, yeah, man. You can feel it, and you have to take your tongue and press it to the soft part of your gums. That's what I was doing to get rid of that, like your ears are clogged up. That's what it felt like. It felt like somebody put something in your ear and you got pressure. And then like I said, I would take my tongue, push it up to the roof of my mouth, the soft part, and then that pop would go away. Like that feeling would go away. So this is the World Trade Center. And this is the Oculus. This whole area is the World Trade Center area anyway. World Financial Center. Yeah. Let's see if I can get it in clear. If you see that dome in the middle, but now it's called something else. That was the World Financial Center area also. And we used to go over there and hang out. It's called, I think it's called Brooksville or something like that. We used to go over there and hang out for lunch. If we didn't go to the park, that's where I would go. Even though that's a long walk. And go over there and eat and come back. Well, if they sent me over there to do a delivery or to see somebody, I'll take my time. Yeah, that's another thing I used to go for. But the concerts that was at the World Trade Center, there was only two kind of concerts I knew of. It was either classical music or jazz. That's all they used to play. But the park, Liberty Park, I used to go to that park, which is, like I said, it was on 165 Broadway in Liberty. We used to go to that park because they had all kinds of entertainers there. They had guys who would do stunts on skateboards, like jumping over people. Like 4 or 5 people would lay down and they'll jump over them. They also did, they had a mime. He used to copy your walk. Whatever you do, he did it. Like right on the spot. I mean, unless you do something silly and try to move real fast. But if you move at your normal pace, man, that guy copy your walk and everything. And then they had gymnasts that used to come over and do acrobatic moves. And that was a family. It was like the father, I don't know, he probably had like 4 sons, maybe a few others, and they used to come out. I think they was from the Caribbean. They used to do their thing, man. That was nice. I used to have fun over here. I enjoyed it, man. But what happened was, they closed down the department I was working in, which was money markets. And they let another companies take it over, and they did the work. So what they did, they offered us a package deal, as in, if you wanted to leave, then they pay you, I think it was 6 weeks. It wasn't 6 months pay. Man, it's been so long. But that's what it was. That was the payout. And if you wanted to stay, you can go with the rest of the staff. And what happened was, they'll train you, they'll have you train the staff at the other location, and then they'll fire you. Isn't that something? They don't tell you that when they're doing it. I didn't stay. I just said, give me the package, and that's it. And I didn't work for like a year. And I started back working. you know, but I wasn't working in this area anymore. Some type of running club around here. South Street Seaport. And this is the World Financial Center area, Wall Street area. Man, there's no wind at all. Can't believe it. And yesterday was so chilly. Like a night and day difference. Right. I thought they closed it off. I'm gonna go over there right now. I saw this gate and I thought it was closed. But I was wondering, why would they close an overpass? That's to walk into the other area of the World Financial Center. This is what I saw. I haven't walked this long for a minute. Maybe that's why my legs is feeling funny. So this ball used to be on the grounds. Well, it was down there where I just came from. And they just kept it. It's just beat up, that's all. The building fell on it. Just to show you where it was at. That's what it used to look like. It's kind of beat up on both sides. Maybe during the weekend when we get the nice weather again, I'll probably come around here and walk this area again.
The theory is drawing things. Oh, yeah, that's interesting.
This is called St. Nicholas. I don't think it's open yet. They've been working on this for the longest. Maybe it'll open this year. This is Liberty Street in Trinity. This is Liberty Park that I was talking about. People used to come for lunch, and we'd just sit down and watch them. But I had a good view from the company where I was at. We was in this building right here. This big black building. We was on the 4th floor, facing the park. So even when we weren't on lunch and we had a little time to spare, like in between jobs, like of what we were doing, we would just look out the window and watch the entertainment. So everything picks up again. And then we had an hour lunch. So we used to come to the park and just watch everybody go at it. And if we brought our lunch with us, that made it even, you know, you didn't have to go running around to get the food and then come back. You just sit in the park. This park was redesigned, so this is not the original scale of the park. This is completely redone. The lights is not coming on for some reason. Maybe it's not late. Maybe it's not late enough. All these little strips that you see on the ground, that's all of that lights up. Maybe they'll come on around 8 o'clock. I don't know. It's not on now. But that's what we used to do. Come right across the street from the 4th floor, come down here, hang out. Man, I ain't been in here in years. Jeez. I'm talking over 25 years. I'm gonna show you the statue that used to be in the park if they didn't move it. Yeah, it's still here. But you won't get a clear view of it because it's nighttime. So I don't have any light on me. But it's just a man sitting down on a briefcase. And this used to be on the park bench. I don't know why they didn't put it back in the park, but that's how it goes. And across the street where it says Bank America, I'm pretty sure you'll know this, Joe. You remember Crazy Eddie? So Crazy Eddie used to be right there. So we wanted to see some hi-fi or the latest video cameras or whatever, we used to go there. It was on the 2nd floor too, right? Where it says Bank America, it was on that floor. We used to go in there, hang out, look at the equipment after work or whatever. That was part of this area. Yeah, man, this place is something, man. I used to be around here all the time. Come after work, hang out. And in the summertime, we used to go all the way down to City Hall. That's not too far from here. Across the street from them, they used to have J&R Music World. So that was another spot we used to hang out around. Even that park too, City Hall, they redesigned that park totally. So that's totally renewed. But they never show you like a picture of this is what it used to look like and this is what it looks like now. They don't do that kind of stuff. Yeah, man, we used to go to Crazy Eddie, man. That was the spot. That and J&R Music World, but J&R Music World was bigger for some reason. They had a whole building to themselves. They got some street work or street art. Yeah, but I don't know how they lost that building, but they lost it. J&R Music World. Then when they closed that down, then they moved into Macy's. Talking about J&R Music World. Well, I'm pretty sure, Joe, you know what happened with Crazy Eddie. They had a scandal and all of that kind of stuff going on with that. This is my first time seeing this. I wonder how long it's been up. They probably just put it up. It's looking nice. Those lights is lighting it up. Some type of plastic. I'm not sure what it is, resin. But those LED lights is lighting it up. So you know that's some type of fluorescent material. So that may be there for maybe a month or so, and there's something, somebody else will put something up. I wonder if they ever shut these down. Give you an idea of what goes on with these trucks. At least the ones on 14th Street and Union Square, those food carts, they never shut them down. They're really supposed to take these things in for a cleaning. But I was talking to a friend. He's gonna run one. He's gonna put one of those up. Those things cost $45,000, believe it or not. And I think there's only one guy who builds them. I mean, if you want a new one. But the ones on, like I said, on 14th Street, Union Square, they never shut down. They stay open 24 hours. The guys will rotate. What they'll do, they'll clean it on the spot. But they have a facility where they have to go to get them clean, but they never visit them. The only reason they stay open 24 hours, the food carts on Union Square, is because they got the school there that's running all year round. That area is always busy. And you can go there like 3 in the morning. There's still people walking the street and want something to eat, like something quick. They even got an IHOP in that area that's 24 hours. It's probably the only IHOP that's 24 hours. Yeah, that's the only area that's like that I know of, where the food carts don't shut down. We about heading to Wall Street.
It's okay then.
Nice. Between those buildings, they used to have a pizzeria, and it was called Big Al's, like Al Capone. So it had a silhouette of an image of a guy that looked like Al Capone. And it was Chicago style pizza. And it was deep dish. And they used to load that up. I mean, you didn't even have to add anything to the pizza because it was so thick. So you eat 1 or 2 slices. Well, for me, I would eat maybe 2 and I'm full. Just like that. And he wasn't cheap with the slices either. Give you a nice thick slice, kind of big. What I used to do was get I forgot the name of the slice, what they would call it, the Sicilian. That's what I used to always get. If I didn't get a regular slice, I'd get what's called a Sicilian. That's like a square pizza. And I get 2 of those and I'm done. His pizza was good. So anytime I used to get a pizza, that's what I would always go to. Big Al's. But when we had the stock market crash back in '87, I think that's when he closed. Yeah, but his is good, man. This is crazy. This is 1 Wall Street. Show you how times change. It says condominium residence, studio to 4-bedroom. And then they show you a swimming pool, 100,000 square feet, 38th floor sky pool. You couldn't do that before here, at least in this building. And now it's residential. Now I gotta see if somebody got a fish tank in there. Let's see if I can go in there and see what that area looks like. That would be something. Oh man, that's how I get around. Somebody put up a fish tank. I get called to go there. I get to see what the buildings look like. The interior. Cutting through Wall Street. We're on Wall Street right now, passing New Street. So as you know, all of this happened after the towers fell. That's why they got all the gates and all of that kind of stuff. And this is wrought iron gate. Well, no, it's not. It's not wrought iron, but that's why it's here. When the towers fell, then they started doing all of the security build up. But before that, this is a straight walkthrough. So they're going to be working on this building for the next 10 years. I think they start, well, I don't know when it's going to be completed. Wait a minute, maybe they changed. Let's see. Oh. We are open. Entrance is located around the corner. So it's on Pine Street. But all this scaffolding is to redo the whole building. I'm not gonna go there now because of course it's closed. And this is the New York Stock Exchange. Trump got a building on this block. I don't know, I might go over there. But this is where they ring the bell and everything. So this area don't get as, even in the summertime, it doesn't get crowded like it used to. Plus a lot of stuff went computerized, became computerized. So that knocked the wind out of a lot of people's sales and jobs plummeted. I forgot the backstory about this little girl. In wintertime around Christmas, they usually put up a big tree in this area. I used to go in and out of all of these buildings. Almost all of them. Oh man. Yeah, cinder block. That's what I did on my block. Of course it ain't, that's styrofoam. Well, I took a lot of cinder blocks and I painted them like that and put numbers on them for each building. Like my building is 185. And I just painted. Painted a color, put a number on it, put a design on it. And then I just put it around the building. This is the company Hermes, you know, designer. I just like the way they did the display for the window. We on Broad Street, by the way. So people, if you're new to this channel, like and subscribe. This is a walking touring channel of New York City. And if you want to see the trains, the buses, the boats of New York City, you can check out my YouTube shorts. I post on there pretty much every day. I'll start doing more walking tours like this as the weather improves. Today was really nice. It was 61 degrees. So when I got off, even in between one of my jobs, I had a long walk. I walk all over the place. especially when I do long walks. Even though I will put in like Soho, and when it says beyond, that means I'm going through multiple neighborhoods, different communities. So I can walk it easy 3 to 5 miles. Depends how long the walk is, the pace I'm walking at also. So definitely like and subscribe if you want to see New York in that way. And usually I don't take the same route. I walk in between blocks that people normally wouldn't go through. At least the guys that do what I'm doing. Because I don't stay on one beaten path. If I get on Broadway, I'll get off Broadway. I'll walk Broadway for a while, and then I'll do one of the cross streets. Thanks again, Joe. What building used to work in, what number building used to work in on Broad Street? Joe. Hit that one. Oh, let me go. I'm gonna go by the bull. Oh, 22. Okay. Broad Street. Joe, how long did you work around this area? Like how many years? Remember? You can be around this area 2 in the morning. Somebody's gonna be around this bull taking a picture. I'm serious. Cause I used to come down Broadway on my bicycle when I was hanging out with the groups back in the 80s and the 90s. Yo, it's insane how they used to be around this thing. This is not that old. There was somebody in this area.
No, someone taking a picture. Take a photo.
In all the areas that you see that's shiny on the bull, that means everybody's rubbing that part or grabbing it or whatever. You see, everybody always get on the head, of course, and grabbing the horns. That's why it's always shiny. And guess what part that everybody always touching? Look what's shiny. They can't open. Oh man, I want y'all to see how shiny it is, because people can't stop touching it. That's what's so funny. Waiting for them to leave. I don't know if they think it's good luck or something. I find it hilarious.
Claro, marito. ¿Estás loca? Que la toqué, viajamos todos los años.
Here we go, Joe. Look at this. People can't stop touching it, Joe. What's the matter with them? That's the shiniest part of the bull. I mean, that's the shiniest part of the bull. Look. It's shinier than the horns. I don't know, man. Oh, man. Crazy. Well, this park is closed, so I can't walk through. They got like torches. I think it runs on gas. That's why you see those little lights. That's not a light, that's a flame. I think they still do that at the park of City Hall. You run it on gas instead of lights, like electricity. Yeah, I can't get any closer. This is the National Museum of American Indians. When it gets nicer, I'll probably do a morning walk. As in going to work. I gotta find a day to do a walk in here. It's the Bowling Green Station. Tip of Manhattan. I gotta just get back into working out, man. This is not working for me. Feel a little tension around my waist. Well, I've been walking for like 3.5 hours, so whatever. I normally don't feel that, but I haven't been doing anything the whole winter either. When I used to work out on the regular, I used to always go to the gym when it's cold. When the weather starts getting real cold, and I just stop riding bicycles or skateboards or whatever. And I'll just go to the gym after work or before work. And then when the weather gets nice, then I'll stop going to the gym and just go back to the bicycle or skateboard or whatever. I'll just do that. But since the pandemic started, I stopped everything. So we're talking at least 3 years. Tried to go to the gym, what it was, not last year, but the year before, and this lady was giving me a hard time. She wanted to see cards. I'm like, I went to the gym for like 3 months, and then I stopped going. I gotta sit up here and show cards. And, where's your card? Get it. I stopped going to that gym, and that was it. So when I stop going, then I don't eat as much. I eat like once a day. Instead of like, I used to carry shakes on me, like enough to carry like 3 bags, like sandwich bags of shakes, like the makeup shakes. And I used to eat at least twice a day, sometimes 3 times a day. I've been stopped going, so I lost a lot of weight. Yeah, man. I lost 27 pounds of muscle. But that was over like a 6-year period, 6 or 7 year period of time. Because what happened was, the gym I was originally going to, 24/7 Fitness. No, not that one. I was going to, that one closed down too. I was going to Synergy, 14th Street. Went there for like 5 years. And they closed down. I was like, what? Husband and wife had a dispute, and I guess they closed it down that way. Like I said, in the winter, I'll go to the gym. When the weather gets nice, I'll stop. So when the weather got nice, the weather got bad, I wanted to go back to the gym, and it was closed. I was like, oh boy. So I stopped going for a while, for a few years. So it took a long time for me to lose all of that muscle. And then when I decided to go back to Mid-City Gym, and then that's when that lady started acting up. You know, I went the first few months easy. That's before the pandemic happened. No problem. I was going and going. And then, when I went to come back, that's when the pandemic happened. So nobody was going. Maybe a few people who worked there, but the gym was totally closed. We had the Staten Island Ferry, by the way. Yep. Yeah, I did a decent walk. almost 8:15. Yeah. I don't know if it's gonna stay like. I think it might rain during the week. I'm not sure. See how that goes. Yeah, it is 8:15. Back in the 80s, this had a totally different look. It didn't look anything like this. They had to redo this whole terminal. And they made it bigger. This took a lot of work, man. It took a few years to get it right. Because there's closing areas off, and when you finish that area, then they'll start up on the next area. Thanks again, Joe. If I'm not reading, usually I just fall asleep on a ferry. Or the train. If I'm on an express train, I'll just nod for a while. Until it's my time. Joe, you ever been to the Staten Island ferry when it was old, like before all of this happened? Yeah, it was dreary in here. It didn't look. It wasn't bright like this. It had a totally different look. And Joe, what they did was they caused a fire. I forgot what part of the terminal. Well, anyway, they caused a fire in here, and then they're gonna say a crackhead did it. Everybody knew that was bull. So they claimed it was a fire. I mean, it was a fire, but one of them city workers, they had somebody to do that. Arsonists. Caused the fire, burn the area down, burn that part down, and then they started doing all of this redesigning. Come on, you gonna have a redesign like this? No way. They had the whole thing planned the whole time. And then they used that fire to speed it up. Yeah, remember when the cars was allowed? Well, they got rid of the car boats. I believe they sold one of them. I can't remember the guy's name. But I believe the guy, he bought the boat about maybe 2 years. 2 years ago. He bought the boat, the one that take the cars. And I think they just use it for parties and rent it out for that type of thing. Yeah, it looks a whole lot nicer. And when I was riding my electric skateboard, I used to come in here. I'm walking over there now, and I used to charge my skateboard up. and then, you know, get on the boat. That's just in case I got on a ferry and they didn't have the, if they had the old ferry, I couldn't plug up somewhere. But the new ferries now, the latest ones they have now, they got electric sockets all over the place. But this is where I used to plug up at. They don't work anymore. I can see they're not working. And you believe they put phones here? I'm not even sure if those work. I don't want to put one up to my ear, but yeah, man. They keep saying, they've been saying it for, I don't know, 10 years now, that they was gonna start charging people for the ferry. What happened was, the last term for Giuliani, what he did, like we used to pay $0.25 to get on the ferry. Just coming into the city mainly. Like if you was on Staten Island, you wanted to come to Manhattan, you had to pay $0.25. And then coming to Staten Island was free. So what Giuliani did, he made the Staten Island ferry free. That's how he got the pickup. Like people started voting for him. And it's been free ever since. We're talking over 20 years. Well over 20 years. It's been free. But I passed through the fake turnstiles. I don't know when they're gonna activate them. I'm walking towards it right now. That's where the dogs were and everything. I guess you're supposed to have some type of, the same way you get on the trains. If they do it, maybe that's what they're gonna do. But so far, they've been just saying it for years, but it never happened. Hope it never does, but the ferry's free both ways, coming and going to the city. That's why they made these. They got rid of the old turnstiles and they put these here. Oh man, I was gonna go outside. You still got it closed. It's like a walkway on the outside of these doors. You can stand outside and look at the Brooklyn Bridge. But it's kind of hard to see because of the glass. Whatever. But yes, folks, this is the Staten Island Ferry. This is the Manhattan side. And the boat just came in. I don't know if this thing is going to hold a signal, but I may walk us into the ferry boat and then close it on the boat. Because they got some type of jamming signal. They got something that jams your signal, like for your phones or whatever, around the Statue of Liberty. So the closer you get to the Statue of Liberty, that's when that jamming starts. That started happening when the World Trade Center fell. Because you never had that kind of problem before. But when the towers fell, That's when they started that jamming for phones or whatever. So as you're approaching the Statue of Liberty, when you're on the boat, the signal starts getting flaky, and then it either go out and then come back on when you pass the Statue of Liberty. Same thing if you try to fly a drone, if people know what a drone is. If you try to fly a drone around the Statue of Liberty, it'll shut off. Or they get jammed, and now they make these drones now. If something goes wrong, it'll come back to you. But before it wasn't like that with the drones. I think DJI does that. I think the cars, I think they were, I didn't drive, so I think they were like $3. You would drive, then put your car on the bottom of the boat. I only used to be on the bottom mainly if my friends wanted to go down there or if I had my bicycle. Let me know if the signal starts to jam, like if you see any buffering going on. If I didn't hang down, like this guy's getting ready to plug his phone up. That's what I would either do.
You know, making babies. Love y'all. Love you too. Later, baby.
Now, you don't need a permit or anything to do video on here. It's just a matter of whether the signal will carry over. That's the only thing. It's gonna be kind of loud down here. I'm gonna go outside. So check this out, Joe. You can accept cars, of course, but this is it. But the really old boats, you remember it was 3 lanes, and then you had the side of the boat. But then now on this boat, even though this is like a newish boat, as you can see, it's just like 3 lanes and that's it. So all like everything's close together. The older boat, I think, was wider to hold those 3 lanes of cars. Oh, the film, okay, I see what you mean. He's talking to him. All right. Coming to the back of the boat.